What's up, party people? It's your boy P. We got the C, we got the J, we got the PY on the bottom. Birds of a feather coming to you tonight, getting into a little who do we want at the quarterback position for 2023? No look ahead. I know last week's show was a little bit from the 2000s and on. Wanted to dumb it down a little bit because it's been the hot topic, and we got a funky bird of the week this week, and I don't like it. I don't like it because I like this guy, and then
You
I can't
shouldn't.
rock. I can't rock with him no more. So we'll get into it. Thank you, rock
Important.
with us. A2D. We about to get into it. Let's go.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! He's flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, it's Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Basgos Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Mention A2D for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and everywhere you download your podcasts. So if you're listening to us right now live or on your commute or on the way to Baggio's Bread, we greatly appreciate the support. We're back again. Your boy Chucks, OJ Pete, Jake, and PY. Fellas, what is going on? How you been? How you doing?
Good. I mean, we've been covered up in smoke the past 2 days, but who's complaining?
I'll tell you who's not good right now is Superman, because Superman's probably got no powers right now with that red sun. So he's just like hiding
Good
away,
point.
trying to make sure.
Dude, I might get a power coin at this point, the way it looks out there.
It's bad. It's bad. And it's going to last for like a couple more days, right?
Yeah, I'm dying, literally. This shit is killing me.
Yeah, I don't think
Because
you
they
should
keep
be going
opening the
outside.
doors at work, and I'm just like, can we stop?
Yeah, PY, I don't think you should be going outside.
I don't. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
no, you should not.
You should not.
I mean,
be
there's
going-
another guy who should not be going outside. A certain man, he should not be going outside.
Mm-mm. We'll get to that. But, gentlemen, we got a nice, fun topic tonight. So instead of continuing our top positions since 2000, we're going to stick with QBs because that's the hot topic this week is QB rankings. And so why not? Let's give our QB rankings for 2023. We'll talk about who we would take heading into this season. And then, obviously, second half of the show, we'll bring you random topics, anything from football, outside of sports, whatever you guys want to discuss, we'll talk about it. But first, our first half of the show is brought to you by Alonzi Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, including myself and Andy Ritz, create a custom vacation for you. Hit us up, guys. Summer vacation. It's time to start planning those Disney vacations. So let me know if you are interested. Our poll question for tonight, if it comes up, I don't know why it's not coming up. I clicked the hold on.
I did the thing.
Technical difficulties. I don't know why it's not coming up, but someone said it as a ticker. So I'll fix this in a second. Jake, unless you know how to fix it real quick. It said as a
damn
ticker
it.
on the button if you want to edit it. But I will recite it for now while Jake works on that. But poll question is, it's a travesty not to have Jalen Hurts as a top 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. Agree or disagree? Just like we did last week, gentlemen, we are going to answer this organically as we do our rankings. But if you're listening to us, definitely chime in. Give us your opinion. Let us know what you think as we go along with these rankings. So without further ado, let us get to it. Let's bring up the one and only spreadsheet. If I can switch it here. Oh, no, that's just me. That's not how I want to do it. There you go. That's how I'd like to do it. Thank you very much. So, again, First thing I need to ask you guys: did you do tiers? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Okay, so I'm the only one that did tiers.
Nobody does tiers but you.
Yeah, because I actually like to be nuanced with my stuff. So no tiers. That's perfectly fine. And I don't know if you guys can see it. I did thicken the borders of the thing so it's easier to differentiate each of our rankings. So that's there for you guys. But yeah, thick. Pause. All right. So who did I leave off or lead off last week? I did Jake, you did first, right? Or did
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So Pete, why don't you go first? Let's start with your number 10. We're gonna do this just as we have.
I actually have 11.
Well,
Since you can make an honorable mention, so I mean we don't have to talk about it. But my 11 was Russell Wilson. He almost made it.
Well,
Wow.
you have 11. Jake, how many did you do?
I did 10.
You did 10, and then PY, how many did you do?
I did 10.
You did 10. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11.
What'd you do? 22?
I technically have 13, but I can do 11. That's fine.
Okay.
So we'll do it then.
Does anybody have Russell Wilson in their top 10?
Hell no.
No.
I do not.
Nope.
Okay.
I do not. Yeah. Well, you have him as 11.
Yes, I mean just
Okay.
honorable mention.
Okay.
I have an 11th quarterback if we need it.
Okay. Let's see. If I do 11, they're all part of my tiers. But you know what? I will leave this one guy out just because it's such an unknown. So I'll leave him out. That's perfectly fine.
Oh, so it's Justin
I'll do
Fields.
that. No, it's my 11 technically. He's in the same tier that I had the other guys, but it's also like a huge question mark. Is Deshaun Watson? But, yeah, but I'll leave him out. That's perfectly fine because we honestly have no clue. I'm going off of just what we know about him in totality. But like again, it's such a shot in the dark. I don't know if we'll get the classic Deshaun Watson or we'll get the Deshaun Watson we saw from last season. We struggled.
He played good quarterback
know.
in like 4 years.
So he played good quarterback the year before. What are you talking about?
He didn't play the year before.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Sorry, yeah.
They were 4-12.
It's been a while. It's been a
It's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a while.
So I'll leave him out. That's perfectly fine. So I'll narrow it down to 10, and then Pete gave us 11. Okay. So Pete, number 10. Who you want to lead off with?
Dakota.
Interesting.
Dak Prescott. Okay. Dak at 10. Jake, what did you have Dak Prescott at?
I have him at 10 as well.
UI, where'd you have him at?
I'm at 8.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. He just missed my top 10. Top 11.
Really?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Interesting. See,
Yep. I know. Man.
P.Y. sound like G. Willikers.
golly gee willikers, folks. Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I thought I would.
Yup.
I'll be honest. I thought I would have him ranked.
Feels
But when I
racist.
got into it, I'm like, actually, no, I don't. I'm like, I would rather have these guys over him right now. So, just missed it. So, he was in my next tier. He's in the same tier with Kirk Cousins. He's like 12. That person's 12. So,
There's gonna be some shocks.
I know who's in your top 10.
There's gonna be some shocks on your list.
well,
I
you
just know it.
me so well. So I mean,
Yeah. I have a feeling.
I
Okay.
swear
I
to
don't
God,
have
if you put who I think is in there.
Povia says was agreed to the poll. Got to be top 3.
Smart man.
He also says end of days, past 3 years.
Yeah, seriously.
Mr. Tom Marone says,
What's up, Tommy?
What up, Tommy?
So, all right. Give your skinny, Mr. Pete Evans. Why is Dak Prescott still in the top 10 of quarterbacks in this league?
He would have been higher if it was his 2023 regular season quarterbacks, but I mean the postseason matters too. So he could put up numbers. He can not technically win you games, but he can certainly lose you games. But with that being said, I would still trust him more than I trust Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins. maybe a Geno Smith. That may not be the only time you hear his name come up tonight. But that's for me. So he's proven he's mid. He's mid.
Mm-hmm.
Gag's ass.
As the kids like to say today.
He mid. Yeah. Anyone, Jake and PY, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pete pretty much hit the nail on the head. I mean, he's a veteran. He's a very good quarterback. Obviously, aside from last year where he led the league in receptions, and he didn't play a full season. But anyway, I mean, he's won big games, and like Pete said, not necessarily playoff games, but he does win in the regular season, and he has come up big in certain moments. But it's always, for whatever reason, it's that second round that always bothers him. It's like the Sixers. I don't know what it is, but
He's Andy
something in the
Dalton.
water.
He is. He's Andy Dalton. Whenever I think of him, that's who I think of. Puts
I
up
think
good numbers. Disappears in the playoffs. Will never.
Well,
never
the
win
1
big-
year he didn't disappear. That's when Aaron Rodgers was on his Megatron shit.
Yeah.
And it was just nothing you could fucking do. But I get the point. Like I would say he's better than Andy Dalton.
He is a little better than Andy, but like it's the same type of dude.
He's like
right?
Kirk Cousins. That's why I have him in the same tier. He's the same thing as Kirk Cousins to me. Like they're good, but like, do I trust them? No, I don't trust them. That's what it comes down to. Like I know
good,
that
or are they serviceable?
there are a lot of credible and smart football analysts out there that do think highly of Dak, and I understand why, because from just if you look at like what he does, like cerebral wise, he's pretty damn good. Like he's a smart quarterback. It's just I can't get past the fact that he doesn't come up big in the playoffs. Like I just, and there's no, you can't use the excuse of he doesn't have help, because he's had good supporting casts. So I can't. And is it all his fault? No, it's not all his fault. There are times where his receivers let him down with drops. Like I think we broke down the his interceptions this past year, and I think a little less than half, I say, were credited to the fault of the receiver. So, not all the interceptions he threw this past year were his fault. And prior to this season, the interception rate wasn't as high. So maybe this was an anomaly, But in terms of turnovers overall, he's still been up there in terms of, turning the ball over with fumbles as well. So I just can't trust him to come up in the playoffs and in big moments. And
he's never not had an offense.
Yeah.
He's had it since day one. What is it?
Yeah, he's never played with
Tony Pollard, Amari Cooper, Des Bryant, the dude who's on the Dolphins right now. He was kind of good. Like he's always wide receiver.
I know who you're talking about.
What is his name?
No.
He let the Eagles up that one game.
Yeah.
He signed as a free agent last offseason.
Yeah.
What was his name?
3-year deal. It's bothering me.
Yeah.
They also had solid tight ends. He's and he's had one of the best O lines ever.
The first one, 2016 to 2018, yes. Now, it hasn't been the same since.
No.
I'm looking up that name now. I'll find it.
I can't think of it either. Did you say it? Oh, you were saying as you were. Okay.
As you were.
Yeah. So I mean, I want him to be. I wanted to fit him in the same tier that I have. I'm in tier 4 right now, so I have 4 different tiers if I'm going to do top 10. So I wanted to put him in there. I can't trust him. I don't trust him like I do. Moving forward, I'll say moving forward, because this is for criteria, and what we're basing this on is who would we want for just this upcoming season based on what we know. So for this upcoming season, I trust these quarterbacks in tier 4 more than I trust Dak. I just do. Is there some bias into there? possibly, but I'm not gonna deny it. Like maybe there is some bias, but I'm trying not to be biased here, and I just don't trust him over the three guys I have in tier 4.
And the wide receiver was Cedric Wilson Jr.
Yeah,
Cedric
that's
Wilson.
That's
There
it.
you go.
there was another guy, something Williams, who was kind of good when he played in Dallas.
Oh yeah, I forget his name.
Yeah,
Wasn't Kelvin Williams, was it?
no, it was just he was like
Something Williams. Terrence
Yeah,
Williams.
Terrence Williams. That's who it was. He was-
Terrence Williams, yeah.
yeah, so like he's had guys, like not to mention, like he's had like good wide receiver or good
And-
tight
and-
ends too.
And the stats show it because they're always at the top of like points. They led the league with points
Mhm.
per game or right behind.
Yeah,
the
the
Chiefs.
last 3 years they were the number one ranked offense in points. Like everyone talks about, like Kellen Moore, that was their offensive coordinator, right?
And
Yeah.
he is not the problem.
He wasn't. I tell people this all the time. They're like, "Oh man, McCarthy's gonna fix everything." I'm like, "Did you watch McCarthy? Did you watch the Green Bay offense towards the end of his time in Green Bay? Did you really?" Like McCarthy is not good. Like Kellen Moore is one of the probably the smartest offensive minds in football. Like I understand, like he was for the Cowboys, and we like to watch them like crumble, but like it wasn't his fault that Dak is like spotting the football wrong. It's not his fault he's throwing them like triple coverage.
I'd have been more than happy if we'd had Kellen Moore as our offensive coordinator, not take anything from Brian
Oh, I
Johnson.
would have been stoked. Are you kidding me? That's a smart dude who knows football.
So who's your 10, Chucks?
You want me to go? Or
Yes.
do you want-
You're the only one with your
No,
offer on the board.
PY doesn't have a 10 yet.
But he's on the board, sir. You're not even on the board.
Okay,
Exactly. Get it
well,
on the board.
I usually let everyone else's thing fill out because
Oh,
as the
wow.
host, that's gentlemanlike. But okay, I'll go. For
Fuck the
my
quorum.
fuck the, for my 10 and my tier 4,
Oh God.
Matthew Stafford.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you guys are surprised by who I have, maybe there's one person that in my top 10 that you would be surprised by. But
No, I already know who it is, but
So-
no, I won't be.
But I mean, I have a legit case for all of them. There's no there's no surprise ones.
Yeah.
But it's Matt Stafford, and this is again going. I've been hearing. I was hesitant at first because I'm like, is he going to play? But I've been hearing reports that he's going to play. So
I'm
that's.
really scared about his neck.
I mean, if he's going to play, he's.
I know. Like I think in any other case, Stafford would be in my top 10. But I'm as nerdy about his neck as I am about Tua's head.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I can
I
tell you Matt Stafford has a good place to lay that head if his neck.
Yes,
is-
he does.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, he
that's
does.
true.
A very
Yeah.
comfortable place.
He does. Yeah.
Nice cushions to
And they
fall
were
on.
not cheap.
So that I have Matt Stafford. I just
Clayton Kershaw
If he's-
paid for him.
if he's healthy, I'm very comfortable with him for one more year. Again, this is just for 2023. One more year.
Drop of the week.
terrible.
So I have
That is bad.
I have him in tier 4. I did list out all my tiers. So I have 1 in tier 1, 4 in tier 2, 2 in tier 3, and 3 in tier 4. So
Okay.
that's how I have it. Do any of you have Matt Stafford top 10?
No.
No.
Okay. I'm assuming that's because of the injury.
Yes.
question mark.
Mhm.
Perfectly fine.
I love
totally-
Stafford.
Yeah, I perfectly get that, and that's why I think this is it's a tough spot because it all depends on how comfortable you are with what we know about his injury. Again, I've been hearing that he's okay to play, so that's why I put him in. But I totally get if you have the concerns. All right, PY, who's your number 10?
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. Jake, you have Kirk Cousins listed?
No.
He
I do
Evans,
not.
you have Kirk
The
Cousins
things
listed.
you find out about your friends, Jake.
Yeah. No. I do not.
Pete, do you have Kirk Cousins listed?
What? Do you even have to ask?
Yeah, I do have to ask because I don't know. Do you?
You know me better than that, sir.
I have to ask for the show purposes. Do you have Kirk Cousins listed?
No.
Okay, good.
Is Megatron an Autobot?
Yes, he is now. So
PY, why do you have Kirk Cousins at 10?
I mean, he is what he is. Like, he's gonna get you numbers. He's gonna most likely get you close to 9 wins or playoffs, and he's gonna break your heart, but he's gonna play really well. Like, he's gonna play as well as you humanly can without overachieving. Like, he's gonna get you right to that plateau and then just stop there. Like, he's kind of like, he's a lot like Dak. I think Dak's a little bit better. But, like, they're going to talk about him all year round as a top 10 quarterback. Is he? Maybe. Like, he's right on that threshold, in my opinion. Like, he's, like, teetering. I went between him and Geno.
Okay. Anyone else want to talk about why they don't have Kirk Cousins? I know why, for me, because I think he's mid, just like, well, not mid.
He's average. He's okay.
Yeah.
Remember me and Chucks, we always talk about this. You can lose because of him. You can win with him. And then you can
win because of him.
You can win with him. I mean, he doesn't win you games.
No.
He's not that dude.
I can't trust.
He did kill us when he did kill us though when he was in Washington. He did do that.
We were Washington did kill us, yeah. With the famous "You like that" quote.
You like that?
Yeah. So
that was against the Giants, right? Or was that against the Vikings?
No, Giants.
No, I thought that was against us after he.
No, definitely wasn't against us.
Was the Giants game at the week after our game? Because remember, he beat us with a late touchdown throw, and I think it was the week after where he played. It was either before or after when he played the Giants. When he did it again with a late touchdown throw. I think that's when the "You like that" thing came on, but. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was against.
It was against the Vikings, 2017.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I could something. I was like, because he did it like as a final drive or some shit, overtime or something.
Yeah.
Funny how that works out.
Yeah, right.
You like that was in 2017?
No, the score is 20-17.
Oh, I thought. I heard. I'm like 2017. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's go back to Pete then. Who got 9?
You brought him up already, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. But I gotta roll with Deshaun. I got to.
Oof. Okay.
Oof. Just because he had 2.5 years off. Now he's fully acclimated back. I think Elijah Moore is gonna have a breakout season. I think Stefanski's got his shit together. With Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, you got David Njoku there. The defense, I think, is being slept on as well. Who did they get? They got Steve Wilkes as the DC, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Jim Schwartz.
Oh, Schwartz. I knew it was a credible name.
You trust me. If it was Wilkes, you would not be feeling that way, sir.
Steve Wilkes, I think, is in San Fran.
Yeah.
All right,
he was their DC the first year with Baker.
You getting a revitalized Jim Schwartz, who had a year off, a couple years off, hasn't really done anything. I know. Did he help out with Buffalo a little bit last year?
Yes.
Was it Buffalo or Tennessee?
It was Buffalo, I think. I think a few years ago, I think the year before it was Tennessee. I think this year was Buffalo.
Okay.
So, but no, I mean, I definitely think he's revitalized. I think he has a talent there. But we've seen what Deshaun can do at his best when he has a full time to prepare. And I mean, if he was still playing to that level, he'd probably be in the top 5 on everyone's list.
Oh, yeah.
So would you? I mean, we just talked about that. We just talked about Kirk Cousins. Is he not
better than that?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's why I had him right on the cusp, and he's technically in my tier 4. It's just that I left him out because obviously, we don't even 10, but yeah, he's in the conversation because, like you said, if he is who he's always been, there's no doubt he's a top 10 quarterback, maybe even higher. So I'm totally with you. I totally get it, and it's funny that PY obviously scoffed at it, but turns out me and Pete do agree on Watson. I'm assuming Jake and PY, you don't have him ranked.
No. Yeah, I don't have him ranked.
Okay. Yeah, he's at my 11. Jake, who do you have at 9 then?
Number 9, I have. Let me just pull up my list real quick. I have Geno.
Interesting.
Geno, number 9.
PY, do you have him ranked?
I don't.
Pete?
You do.
Do you have Geno Smith ranked?
We all
No,
know
no. I said no, but I'm saying you do. I know
We
you.
all know he
I
has
do.
him ranked.
I do have him ranked. So I have Geno ranked also in tier 4.
Okay.
I couldn't put it higher because it's that thought of, is it just a 1-year thing? I understand
Right,
that,
yeah.
but that's why I
that's why he's
couldn't
at
put him higher. However, if you look at what he did just last year, you could argue he should be a tier higher, just based on performance last year. So the question mark of consistency is it just a 1-year wonder? That's what drops him to 4. But his production says otherwise. So if he plays just same thing, that same level of play as he did last year, he is going to be near top 5 or 6.
Did he finish like 4,200 passing yards last year?
Yes.
I don't know what the numbers were, but they were high. I mean, he leveled the whole team's offense kind of leveled off a little bit toward the end of the year because O-line issues. But yeah, like Geno still was playing so well. So like,
I mean, they gave him another weapon or two.
Yeah. So like, I am very, very bullish on Geno Smith going into 2023. I don't think it's a 1-year wonder. I think he's legit. Because even when he was younger, it was never a question of physical talent. It was a question of this. Like, he was making bad decisions, but now he's making
just dumb.
Now he's being smarter and he's letting that talent show. Like, he's got a strong arm. He's accurate. He's mobile. Like, he's a damn good quarterback. Jake, I don't know if you had anything to add to why you have him at 9, because I know a lot of people wouldn't rank him near top 10 yet because of just they don't know, they're apprehensive about the 1-year wonder thing. But why do you have him a top 10 like me?
I mean, he had a fantastic year. Just if you look at his numbers, he nearly had 4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, QBR of 100.9. And mind you, I get it. It's 1 year, and that's why I have him where he's at. But when you add Jackson Smith and Jigba and you add the running back that they added from UCLA, along with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and oh my God, I'm forgetting the running back out of Michigan State. Sorry, Ralph.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker. When you add all that together, it's just he can't not have a bad year. You know what I mean? If he has a bad year next year, then there's an issue. There's a clear issue. So with all the weapons that he has, and like I said, the main question is just, can he do it for another year? And I really think he can. So that's why I have him at 9.
Yep. Good. P and PY, is there anything you want to add as to why you wanted to leave him out?
He's old. People forget how long he's been in the league.
Yeah, it's 2023 though. It's only 1 season. I'm not talking long term.
Nah.
I'm not talking long term.
This
is why This is why I said before, short term or long term, it changes the conversation. So if we were talking,
you're right. I'm thinking to myself, but still,
you just don't know what Geno like. It could, because we see it all the time. There's a lot of times there are 1-year wonders, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's back. Like, look like the dude from the Steelers from the XFL. Like, they signed him, Tommy Maddox, right? Tommy Maddox came out of obscurity when XFL MVP and then led the Steelers to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I would say Geno would be like 9.5 for me. He would be like right in between Dak and Deshaun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's hard. I had like when you're doing tiers, you're protecting yourself just a little bit more. When we're doing like the list, and it's just like, well, like when we see 8, it's just making a case for Geno in that 1 season and looking what he is now. And do I want to roll with this guy versus these other guys? You know what I mean? And I mean, he's a sneaky scrambler. You know, he's a sneaky scrambler, but you know, I just 9.5.
That would, yeah. So 9.5, I think it's totally understandable, and it's. I think that would all of us agree if we were just based it on performance of last year, he absolutely was better than Dak Prescott.
Oh, probably trusted him more too.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So, we're PY then. Your 9 is not filled yet. So who you got at 9?
Tua.
Tua. All right, I don't know how. I need help spelling his name.
Just put Tua.
Just put
Tua T.
Tua T.
Hold on.
Okay.
I got it if you want me to go to you.
Yeah.
Talk about Noah.
TAGOVAILOA.
Like that.
Where's the count when you need him?
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Jake and Pete, do you have him ranked?
No.
I do not either. Okay, PY, make your case for Mr. I'm one hit away from retirement.
I'm so confused.
I know. Okay, I thought about it. I really did. I'm like, do I want to go with this? Because I just like it's not my usual pick, but I just after today's rile up from Chris Sims, I just my heart's hurting for Tua, and you know what?
All right,
we
know why now. It's not.
No.
This is not genuine. This is not genuine.
Emotional.
You're emotional.
No, I actually know. Like,
you have an agenda. I get it.
I don't have an agenda.
Yeah,
No,
but
I actually do think he's going to play really well this year.
It was only because okay.
I said a part of it did have to be the emotion, but I actually do think he's going to play really well. Like, I think he's not going to get hurt. Like, I think if he wasn't ready to come back, I don't think they would have cleared him. I don't think he would have agreed to come back and play. Like, he has the talent. He has
your nose is getting bigger. By the way, your nose is getting bigger.
Well, no, that's my lungs.
It's my lungs.
No, like they added A-Shine. Is that how I say it? That's who they added.
It's not going to matter. It's that
he's not going to matter. Like he's going to have all the weapons on
who the
offense.
lead back is going to be in Miami in about 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
He's going to have. He has all this help on offense. Not to mention the fact that you're going to have probably a top 5, top 10 defense.
This is amazing.
PY,
this is amazing.
There is no way in your heart of hearts that you honestly.
I do. I honestly believe this.
No, you do. No,
I do.
No, you do not.
I do. You guys are being so mean right now.
You've been talking shit about the guy for the past 6 months. And now he's on your top 10.
I am allowed to have a change of heart. God damn it.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. You guys are being mean and unethical right now.
You're the unethical one.
What are you talking about? I am on the side of goodness and fairness.
No, you're on the side
I changed my opinion on Jalen Hurts. Why can't I change my opinion on Tua?
You said I was sincerity and decency.
I am on the side of truth, justice, and fair footballness.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand. I'm like the one time I'm doing something good. I'm going the right things. I'm getting killed. What is this? You're too mean to Tua.
Are you trying to make up for your Eli Manning blunder?
Yeah, he's trying to...
I'm sorry. When he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't want to hear nothing.
I agree, but but this is. Listen. I'd have been more shocked if you had. I didn't see this coming. I will say that. I didn't see this coming.
I keep you on your toes, man.
But they're just saying your motives for doing this are not genuine.
It's not true. That hurts me, guys. That hurts me a lot.
You cannot command the Starship Enterprise. You cannot command the Starship Enterprise. You're emotionally compromised. You cannot operate the Starship.
Every captain is emotionally compromised, sir, and they continue.
You cannot.
They continue driving the ship. Stop it.
My number 9 is that bad man, Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, okay.
I'm just gonna say
you have Aaron Rodgers ranked.
Of course.
He's not in my top 10.
He is number 7.
Shocker.
7. Okay. Jake. I said
I have him number 8.
You have him at 8 as well. Okay, so we're in that range. We're all having except for
you have Tua ranked at 8, and Aaron Rodgers is not ranked at all.
He has Tua for 2023. he trusts Tua Tagovailoa.
I do, because he's not 46.
He spent
It's
the
all an
last
agenda.
several
It's an
months.
agenda.
That hurts, guys.
And
That
just a
hurts that
couple
you would
weeks
say
ago-
these insults.
And just a couple weeks ago, he swore Tua was going to retire, and now he trusts.
Things
Tua
happen,
over
Hearts
Aaron
were
Rodgers.
open, eyes were
Okay.
opened.
So
Your eyes full heart can't lose.
Aaron Rodgers is 9 for me at tier 4. Now I would have him in tier 2 or 3 at the lowest if it weren't for the drop off in play last year. Last year you saw a drop off, and I'm like, damn. And so going from MVP to like good Aaron Rodgers, I don't know. Now there's a glimmer of hope because was at OTAs for the Jets. So he's doing the work. He's showing up. He looks like he's enjoying his new team. So maybe with him invested, it's going to bring him back. Maybe not MVP level, but definitely better to how he played last season. So that's why he still makes top 10. Because if I'm going one more year, I'm just going 2023, I think he's got one more stellar year in him. So he's at my number 9. P and Jake, anything to add as to why you have him ranked as well?
Yeah, the big thing for me is kind of like you said, Chuck's the drop off that he had last year, and for Aaron Rodgers, as far as a drop off goes, it still wasn't for an average quarterback. It wasn't a bad year.
Yeah,
it really wasn't. If you look at the numbers, that's just how high in regard we hold Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, he's on a new team, and like you said, he's at OTA, so he's putting the work in. And I think a change of scenery will be good for him. Now, again, will it be a year-long thing? Is it going to be a multi-year thing? We'll see. Because obviously with the offseason and Aaron Rodgers, it's always a roller coaster, right? But, it's just, can he build off of a bad year last year and kind of turn the page?
Yep. Pete, anything to add?
I really don't even take it to his season last year into account. Let's take a look at that whole situation. It was just bad vibes in Green Bay from this point last year on throughout the whole season. So I just think it's like when you tell me I got to go into a dark hole or whatever he called it for
cave,
no light for 72 hours, whatever the fuck he did. That environment has put you in a bad place. So I actually just looking at his age, his skill set now, so the players I have ranked ahead of him, I just like their outlook for 2023 more. You know what I mean? Versus even though because we didn't really take into account the situation that they're in, just looking at the players stand alone by themselves.
Yeah. PY, I'll give you a chance to rebuttal. Why do you not have him in top 10?
I don't trust the Jets. I just for whatever reason.
To do with the Jets?
It has a lot to do with the Jets.
But
the Jets, for whatever reason,
we're evaluating the player,
regardless of the team. This is bullshit.
Regardless of the team, this exercise was to evaluate the player.
Yeah.
I just think I'm being ganged up on. This is a little unfair. I call shenanigans.
There's a fork in the road, and this.
Am I allowed to talk? I swear to God, what is this, undisputed?
I'm done. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. My apologies.
It's my turn. It's just so sad. No, I don't trust the Jets organization. I don't trust the head coach. They got a lot of pieces which are nice, but Rodgers is coming off his worst year in probably 14 years since 08. I was looking it up, is stat wise and it's the age. I don't trust the age. It's when quarterbacks fluky injuries happen. The older you get, the flukier that shit's gonna happen. A lot of those things are just what I buy into. There's no agenda. I have an issue with Rodgers, but 99% of my issues with him right now are his age and the team he's going to. And the fact that he had a down year.
Okay. If you were to project where you would have him ranked, where would you roughly have him ranked in your rankings outside of Herbert?
I probably would have said 12.
Okay.
And who was your
I
number
had-
11?
I had a Gino at 11.
11. Okay. All right. Okay.
I had him like 22.
Okay. All right. Some of what you said is fair.
I'm tough but fair, man.
I said some of what you said is fair.
Oh.
It's really hard to cover it. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. The Pete, number 8. Who's your number 8?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor. Oh, okay. All right. Trevor Lawrence. Jake, where do you have him ranked?
I have him number 7.
7.
Who's this
PY, where do
Yeah, this is a flip.
you have him ranked?
I do.
Where?
5.
5. And myself, do I have him ranked? Yes, I do. I have him ranked at 7. So we're all like roughly in the same. We're all not far off. So Pete, go ahead, lead it off. You have him ranked at 8, which is lower than the rest of us, but I don't think it's that bad. So we all kind of agree on that. What do you see? What's your skinny on Trevor Lawrence heading to 2023?
It's kind of the same thing. It's his first year, his first off season coming into the same coaches, same offensive system, getting more weapons. And it's one of those things, even looking through last year, he played well, right? I think last year
very well.
He played up to his somewhat of his expectation. And what I want to see from him this year is that Trevor Lawrence, can he take that and then go further? Can he be the reason they come back? We all saw the Chargers playoff game, right? That was a lot of culmination of things to where he made throws, but was he the catalyst for that comeback? I don't think so. I need to see him become him this year to take the reins and then live up to that true number 1 pick. Because now this is like, once again, Dougie P sprinkles his magic the second year he's with a quarterback, right? This is his second year with Trevor Lawrence. I need to see that. And I mean, Aaron has done it more. He has proven it more. Yep. And for Trevor Lawrence, the talent is all there. I just need to see you do it another year. I need to see that consistency.
Jake and PY, if you want to go.
Yeah, just kind of build off what Pete said. It's another year coming to the same system. You have more weapons. And just to look at his year last year, just over 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Really good from the year prior where he was coming off 17 interceptions and 12 touchdowns. And again, it goes to the playoff game, right? Was he the catalyst in them coming back? Not necessarily, but he helped. It's just a matter of the interceptions, and he didn't throw a lot last year, but a lot of them were like costly interceptions, whether it was like later in big moments. So it's just a matter of, not saying he's bad by any stretch, but just a matter of, can he cut them down a little bit and kind of capitalize on the opportunity? So nothing bad. It's just, can he build off of the success that he had last year? And I think he can.
PY, you have him the highest out of all of us. So, let us know. What do you think about? What do you see in Trevor Lawrence going into this?
Dog. He is that guy. Like, Trevor Lawrence is a baller. Like, he is a big game quarterback. Like, there's a reason he was so amazing in college. Like, obviously, the first year with Urban was a joke. But, like, when your coach is, like, grab-assing with co-eds and kicking kickers, kind of a sign that, like, things are not working out for you. But like Pete said, like, Dougie P sprinkling that magic. What was Wentz's second year with Dougie P? Oh, yeah, he was an MVP candidate. Not to mention, he's going to get another year with Doug, and you're getting Calvin Ridley. Like, I think that's the one thing people are not talking about. Like, it's going to be huge for him.
I think a lot of people are talking about it, actually. A lot of people are mentioning Ridley coming back, but go ahead.
Well, you cannot help yourself.
I can't.
Not you. Him. He cannot help himself from not bursting your bubble. Just letting you have.
He's so mean. Like, why is he? Like, why? Like, why is he so mean to me?
You. It's like a layup. It's so easy sometimes. You You make
You know
these
what?
comments and I'm like,
You know what? You could just be nice. You could just be nice. I'm sure you teach your kid all the time. You should be nice to the other kids. Try it.
He said, "Practice what you
Practice
preach."
what you preach, Papa Bear. Like, come on.
practice what you preach.
It's just like he's just so hurtful.
Have you singing the Peaches song from Super Mario, but
Which I haven't seen.
Song's
yet.
a-
I haven't-
The song's a banger, by the way.
This song's amazing. It's gonna win an Oscar.
It probably
might.
will. It probably will.
Hurtful.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor, you guys pretty much said it. I think Trevor Lawrence, his breakout was the second half of the year. It's odd to me that you guys say that, was he the question whether he was the catalyst for that comeback? I say he was definitely the catalyst for that comeback, or at least a part of it. Like,
oh yeah, sure.
yeah, he was big part of it. So, he played extremely well second half of the year. He started to show, and what I keep hearing on other podcasts from our other analysts and from people like who studied Trevor Lawrence even back in college when he was a 5-star recruit out of high school going into college. Like with Lawrence, like the big thing for him whenever he's transitioned is trying to remember how good he is, because a lot of times he'll lose that confidence. But I think this year we saw it halfway through the year. He started to get that confidence and remembered, hey, like he is Trevor Lawrence. He's highly recruited. He was highly drafted for a reason because of that physical talent, that physical ability. And so when he gets the confidence and lets that just play, when he just plays, you see it. You see that come out of it. He doesn't second guess himself when he's making throws. So I think his coming out party was last year. And I'll save this for a little later, but I'll just touch on, like, I think there's a lot of disrespect coming from not just toward Lawrence, but some of these next few quarterbacks we'll get into on social media from Eagles fans. Like, I think it kind of shows that Eagles fans don't pay enough attention to outside of the Eagles. Like, there are damn good quarterbacks that we're about to touch on. We're about to talk about. They are damn good, and the disrespect has to stop. So I'll save the rest of the conversation for later when we get to it. But yeah, that's Lawrence is part of it. Like, he balled out. He deserves to be in the conversation as one of the top 7, 6, 5 quarterbacks moving forward. So
He does.
yeah, he absolutely does. He's
not over Jalen.
Yeah. PY, we have your 7 empty. So go ahead. Who is your number 7 quarterback?
Survey says Oh yeah. And Lamar.
Lamar. Okay. Jake, do you have Lamar ranked?
Do I have Lamar ranked? I do. I have him number 6.
All right, so pretty close.
Pete.
5.
Okay. 5, 6, and 7. There you go.
And then I have him right here, round out tier 3.
6.
Okay.
Cool. We all pretty much agree. So PY, go ahead, lead off. What's your view on Lamar Jackson for 2023?
I feel really confident in Lamar coming into this year just because Greg Roman is not there anymore. The demon has been exorcised. He's out the building. He's out the door. Wide receivers can do wide receiver things again. They got Odell. They got who the hell did they get in the first round? Like, his name is
Zay Flowers.
What?
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. That's who it is. Like there's maybe they go out and get DeAndre. Could be.
I don't think so. I think they're good. I don't think so.
I mean, I would love it just because it'd be a lot of fun. But like, yeah, I just think he's going to be have a really good year just because he's finally going to have weapons around him. He got the money, which is going to make him really happy and really motivated. And I just don't trust that. I think he's going to play really well. So, I mean, I think they played Cleveland twice, and I think they're going to kick their ass. So,
yep.
I also think he got really disrespected in the offseason and most of last year, and they were killing him because he didn't play those final games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to go out of his way to show everyone who the MVP was.
Yep. I'm glad you brought up with Greg Roman leaving, because I think that's that's something you were questioning. You're, just a few weeks ago, you were like, "Oh, they're gonna just run all the time now?" But I reminded you, like, "Hey, like, yeah, Greg Roman's out of here. It's Todd Monken now." So good point. Good thing that you brought that up. Before we get into all you guys with Lamar, we do have some other comments. John Adcock said Jets could sign Cook and they are underrated. Joe Horkowski says thought this was going to be a wide receiver or running back show. It was, and I replied to him. I said it was supposed to be, but we got Chris Sims rankings trending this week for football, so we figured we'd do ours. And then Donald McKinney, he says Matthew Stafford is not top 10.
He is when he's healthy.
He is when he's healthy. That's what I'm going off of. And then Mr.
If
Wing,
the neck is attached, he's good.
yeah. Mr. Wing says Chris Sims once again is a hater.
He is.
He is.
More than just Jalen Hurts, it appears.
Jake and Pete, then what? Any additional thoughts on Lamar?
No, not really. I mean, the main thing is just staying healthy for Lamar. That's my main thing. But like Pete said, I expect him to have another big year. He has a good wide receiving core around him, and he actually has a decent amount of weapons for one. So this should definitely be a big year for Lamar.
He brings something to this list that only one other person does, but he does it in a more dynamic fashion with his legs. I think they have Todd Monken there now as the OC.
Yeah, Todd Monken. Used to
but
be
the
at
weapons,
Georgia.
Yeah, but
Georgia.
we say the weapons, right? But I mean, Odell has to be somewhat of himself again.
Yep.
Right, because shit can change week 5 of the season if on tape they realize that he's not getting separation.
Yep.
You can find yourself right back, and not say right back. On paper, it's the most talented offense he's had, because I think a lot of people forget Mark Andrews is still there. So I think things are going to open up for him. I have him just a little bit higher because of what he does bring to the table with his legs. That's a different dynamic that Trevor can't do, Deshaun can't do so far. And even who I have at number 6, some people may scoff at that, but it is what it is. But this is just for me. He's an MVP for a reason.
Yep. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Odell's first time around with Monken either.
Monken, yeah. Everything you guys said was on point. Brought up the Todd Monken thing. I think that's huge. I think it's absolutely huge for this offense and for Lamar. He's going to show up. I scoff at every time someone says Lamar's not a good passer. Like I laugh and I kind of get annoyed because is he Mahomes, Allen, Herbert passer type? No, he's not like on that elite level, but he's like right under them. I'd say he's still a very, very good passer. And people, just because he's dynamic as a runner, people automatically assume he's not a good passer. And so I think it's very unfair to Lamar. I think he's going to show out this year. I think with his weapons healthy, OBJ coming off of, he didn't play at all last year, so that the ACL better be healthy, you would assume. People forget Rashad Bateman, their first round pick from a couple years ago, who was having a good season before he got hurt in week 4? He got hurt. He was having a good season up to then.
Yeah,
he's back. And then Zay Flowers, we all agree on Zay Flowers. All of us either had him 1 or 2, I believe, in our wide receiver prospect ranking. So Zay Flowers is a stud. We all believe in him. So that, and then Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, and then a healthy J.K. Dobbins at running back. Yeah, he's gonna light up. That offense is set to have a really good season. So I'm excited for Lamar, and I think he's gonna ball out. That he's paid now. That's aside. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's gonna ball out. I believe in him. Before we get into number 6, let's take a quick break, and let us talk about, or not talk about. We got a commercial for you from Philly Sports Trips. Take a listen.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
So make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. If you want to go to one of the away games for the Eagles, they're the best in the business. All right, Pete, you don't have your 6. So who is your 6, my friend?
One, Justine Herbert.
Justin Herbert. Herbert. Justine Herbert.
Herbert.
Jake, is Justin Herbert? No, I shouldn't say is. I shouldn't ask anymore. Where is Justin Herbert ranked on your list?
Number 5.
5. Why?
I'm at 6.
He is for me at number 5. So we're all pretty much in agreement with him. Go ahead, Pete. Justin Herbert. See.
Playoff performances once again. I think he's since we're taking into account their situation, not the player. I think he's in an advantageous position as a player now with Kellen Moore. I don't know what the whole Austin Eckler situation has died down a little bit, so I don't know what kind of.
He's staying. They said he's staying now. Yeah.
But now you got Quentin Johnson there. I think it's a good spot for Quentin Johnson, especially with Kellen Moore. He works well with bigger wide receivers. Mike Williams, Palmer's there. I think Gerald Everett is still there. But what I want to see from Herbert is just more consistency. We all know he can make every throw. His arm is special. Just be more consistent when the plays. We've also seen him when plays are there to be made. That's when the throws could just be off. We've seen him come back. We see them in shootouts. Just need to see that consistency. I mean, the talent is there, as we all can see. But for me, once again, Lamar obviously can't spin it like Justin Herbert. Not saying Lamar can't spin it. I like what you said when you said that people think Lamar's not a good passer, but Lamar can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Herbert just can't do that.
Yeah,
he hasn't proven that he can do that yet. So, just for me, I just have him ranked a little bit higher, one running higher on the ladder versus Lamar.
I can see that. I think the reason why I didn't squeeze Lamar into tier 2 was injuries. That's why. That's pretty much why. But I mean, Lamar's a former MVP. Lamar's the best dual threat quarterback we've seen since Michael Vick. So it's the talent. The talent is not that it's not there. But with Justin Herbert, I think he is, when it comes to throwing the football from the pocket, he is probably at worst tied with the best in football. Like just from being a pocket thrower of the football, his mechanics, his arm, it's powerful. He's accurate. I think that the one thing you want him to work on is touch throws, because I think he believes in his arm a little bit too much. But yeah, what you said with consistency is on point, and I think we haven't seen him rise to the occasion and lead his team to a huge signature win yet. I think that's apparent, and that's why he's 5. On talent, he deserves to be top 3 or 4. But until you show that signature win, I can't put you above the other guys who are at 4 or top 4. I can't, until you have to show you can lift your team up. And if he had pulled out that victory, like against the Jags, if they had come back, but then Herbert did something to pull that victory out still, that would have been, to me, a signature win, to be able to come up clutch and still pull it out, but it didn't happen. And maybe it's not fair to just put it on him. Maybe it's a team thing. That's true, but again, we haven't seen a signature win from him, so that's where I'm at with it. Jake and PY, where are you at with Justin Herbert?
I mean, all the talent's there, but again, it's like what you and Pete said. It's just like he comes up short a lot, and that's the problem. To where some of it's his arm, to where he believes in it a little too much, and some of it's just like situations. It doesn't work out for him. A la the Jags game, like we alluded to earlier. It's just for whatever reason he ends up in unfortunate situations. Now, again, that might be a Chargers thing because the Chargers just, for whatever reason, they do Charger things. But he's too talented for them to not win or at least go deep in the playoffs at some point. But it's just a matter of getting everything right, getting everything together. And I think having Kellen Moore is going to be a bigger acquisition for the Chargers than I think a lot of us are anticipating. So I'm putting a lot of my money into that. But the talent's all there. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
Yep. Mr. Wing says, before we get to PY, Mr. Wing says, no way is Lawrence or Lamar better than Hurts at this point. Sorry, Herbert is arguable. Joe Horkowski, he gives his rankings as 1 Mahomes, 2 Burrow, 3 Hurts, 4 Allen, 5 Herbert, 6 Rodgers, 7 Lamar, 8 Trevor Lawrence, 9 Kyler. We have 9 Kyler, 10 Cousins, and then Dak, Geno, Tua, Stafford, plus my 9 and 10 could all be interchangeable. All right, so he puts Kyler, Cousins, and those other quarterbacks interchangeable. Matthew Wall says Chris Sims is my crumb of the week. Crumb of the month. Crumb of the summer. Joel says it'd be nice if Herbert's weapons could stay healthy. Herbert also played hurt all year. That is absolutely true.
100%.
Absolutely true. I think it's a good Quentin Johnston. Even though I kind of wanted Zay Flowers there, Quentin Johnston still is going to
it's a good fit.
Really good fit still. Mr. Bing says team gave him 5 takeaways against the Jags and he still lost that.
We can't hold it against them. That's just wouldn't be fair.
And so I think we mentioned it during that game when it hit halftime. And I remember when I said, I was like, it being only 27-0 is really bad for the Chargers. Do you guys remember that? I'm like, this could be a much larger lead than 27-0. And it came out back to bite them. So again, I don't know if that's all on Herbert or not. I can't say, but it is part of the equation. And then Todd Womack says Philly Dilly fam. Is this the Chris Sims got it wrong show? Yes, it pretty much is. Yeah. All right. So I find it interesting and very maybe not interesting, but I am pleased to see that we all have the same 4 guys in the top 4. Now it's just a question of where do we each have them ranked. So, Pete, I'm gonna have you lead it off again.
I must have been leading off a lot.
Have you? I haven't been keeping track. Okay, Jake, then you go first. So, Jake,
too young to be forgetting already, yo.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just literally trying to just go. I don't remember. My bad. Jake, then you leave it off at number 4. Who is at your 4?
Give me Josh Allen at number 4.
Josh Allen, number 4. PY, where do you have Josh Allen ranked?
Survey says 4.
This guy gave himself his own drum roll.
Pete, where do you have Josh Allen ranked?
Trace.
You.
Okay.
I have him ranked at Trace. Yep. I think this is where
the wrong people in this group.
I think this is going to
be all right.
This is where the
not all right. They're wrong.
It's about to be some harsh truth out here, boys.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
Let's do this now, then. Let's do this
go.
now.
Let's go.
PY, who is at your 3?
Jalen Hurts.
Jake, who's at your 3?
I have Jalen also.
Way to be smart there.
And it's going to be 4-4.
Pete, who's at your 4?
Jalen.
Oh, you sick. You're sick. You get out. You go to the corner.
I love this.
I don't even want to look at your face right now.
The adults in the room got this right.
No, I don't even want to. I just want to hide your face right now.
Let's go to the poll question. It's a travesty.
Embarrassing.
The poll question, it's not coming up. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But the poll question is: it's a travesty not to have Jalen Hurts as a top 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. Agree or disagree? So as you can see, we are evenly split. I'm going to let the kids go first. So
You mean the correct people?
PY, and then Jake, and then Pete, and then I'll finish it off. So PY and Jake, state your reasoning as to why Jalen Hurts deserves to be higher ranked than Josh Allen.
So if we're just talking from like a talent standpoint, obviously it's Josh Allen over Jalen Hurts, but the turnovers are a big thing for me. A lot of costly turnovers, similar to the Justin Herbert situation, but just a little more emphasized to where Josh Allen trusts his arm a little too much at times. A lot of turnovers, but again, he's a great quarterback. He's an awesome quarterback, but the turnovers are just, and he's too reckless at times. And again, part of that makes him what he is, right? That's what makes him Josh Allen. But the recklessness and like Mr. Wing says, the throws and interceptions, that's the big thing for me. That's the big concern for me.
PY.
Yeah, I mean, everything Jake said. Like, he's a very careless thrower of the football. I don't think he protects the ball as well as he should. And it's not even the fact that he's throwing interceptions. He's like Brett Favre in these interceptions. Like, that's how bad they are. Like, I'm looking at, like, in the last 2-3 years, like, you've looked, the way he's played in the first half of the season, you're like, oh, my God, the Bills are that team. They are that dog. They are going to the Super Bowl. And then, like, after that halfway point, whatever it is with this guy's brain, maybe he gets, like, incorrect LASIK surgery on the brain. He just starts throwing pick. And then, like, when it comes to the playoffs, he's just like, when I expect him to take that next leap, he just falls. Like, he's Mr. Inconsistent. Like, the talent is there. Like, he has a talent to be 1 or 2 in the NFL. But when it comes to the moment, he shrinks. Like, they were selling tickets to an off-site AFC championship game between the Bills and the Chiefs. And then he got, like, Tommy whacked by Joe Burrow.
Pete, do you want to go first?
Listen,
Can I say one thing first? Can I say one thing first?
Go ahead.
I just want to say it's funny how you say he comes up short, but yet we all remember that crazy game, arguably the best and most entertaining playoff game we've ever seen, or we've seen in at least the past decade, between the Bills and the Chiefs.
Did he win?
I would say that Josh Allen didn't come up short.
Did he win?
The rules just came into play.
The rules kind of screwed me, yeah.
The rules came into play. So Josh Allen did not come up short. Josh Allen did not come up short. The rules came into play. So, Pete, go ahead.
Listen, man. Mr. Wing, it is what it is. Jake, PY.
You're just both in a sea of wrong.
Shut up. Shut up. Shush.
Adults talk.
Shush. Everything we said about Trevor Lawrence a year, Geno Smith a year, is the same fucking thing you can say about Jalen Hurts.
Nope.
Take the homer glasses off. I love Jalen as a leader, as a character. There's shit Josh Allen does that Jalen just will not physically ever be able to do.
That's fair.
Yep.
Ever. I don't give a shit how much of his ceiling he hits. I get it. Mr. Wing says he underthrew this, he underthrew that. Listen, if you lining up this roster right now, and I can have any quarterback not named Joe Burrow, not named Patrick Mahomes, I'm taking Josh Allen. We've seen Josh Allen single-handedly take over games.
Yep.
I'm not taking nothing away from Jalen. Jalen is sitting on number 4 in front of people who've already won multiple MVPs.
Yep.
This is no snide to Jalen. It's just that Josh Allen is a better athletic quarterback, because let's not forget, white some bitch can run his ass off, and he's tough as shit. So it's once again, it's I think sometimes, and we've seen Josh Allen do this multiple years now. I get it. I love Jalen. He's done it one season.
Yep.
One season.
Yep.
Right. This season here, I'm not saying he doesn't strike me as a guy with this character that's going to get paid. It's not he's going to slack off. I don't think that this is him. But now that you have this money, you have to play to that level. And there's other extenuating circumstances why Josh Allen didn't play in the AFC Championship game last year. One is because the guy that's number 2 on my fucking list was playing on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, honestly, the only other quarterback that Jalen played on this list for a big game is sitting at number 1 for everyone, and he fucking lost that game. And he had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. I'm not trying to sound like Chris Sims, but that's just the truth.
Yeah, if PY wants to use the argument, did he win? Did he win that game? Well, did Jalen Hurts win in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes?
He made it. At least he made it.
And he gave him 7. Hurts gave him 7.
Exactly.
Hurts gave him 7.
He had a 10-point lead. His defense let him down.
I'm not going to use that argument because it's a dumb argument. That's why I don't see QB wins and losses as a QB stat. I'm not going to use the argument. I'm saying you're going to use the argument. You could say the same thing for Hurts. So be consistent. You just said you didn't rank Geno Smith in your top 10 because of consistency. You, like the rest of us, Jake, you didn't have Trevor Lawrence that high because it's only been 1 year. Can't we be fair and take off the Eagles cover glasses and say the same thing for Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts has done it for 1 year and we love it. I think Jalen Hurts has the potential to be number 1 at some point. I think his ceiling, I will not give him a ceiling anymore. I will never give him a ceiling anymore. His ceiling is as high as he wants it to be. So he can be number 1 over Patrick Mahomes one day. I will never doubt that man. But right now, if you want to be fair and consistent, he's done it for 1 year. Whereas the guys ahead of him on the list, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, have performed at high levels for consistently multiple years now. And Josh Allen is a dual threat quarterback. We forget that. Josh Allen was their leading rusher because they didn't have anyone else. Josh Allen has to do everything for the Bills because they don't have anyone else. He's got one stud wide receiver. Name me anyone else who deserves to be mentioned as a good weapon. No one else. No one else besides Stephon Diggs. So Josh Allen has to do so much by himself. Yes. Is he a little bit reckless? Yes. But I think you guys are people like Mr. Wing and PY.
And Chuck, he has to take those chances because of the team around him. And Jalen doesn't have to take those chances.
And I think you guys are confusing old Josh Allen with new Josh Allen. Old Josh Allen, earlier in his career, yes, he was horrible with decision making and turnovers and being reckless. But for now, 2-3 years, he's gotten so much better at it. He's always going to have an element of risk taking. But I think you guys are ignoring the fact that the highs that he has more than offset the lows that he has. More than offset. The amount of insane throws he makes and insane plays that he makes, there's only one other person who's on par with that, and his name is Mr. Mahomes, who's at number 1. So there are things that only those 2 quarterbacks right now can do in this league. The reason why I have him at 3 and not 2 is because he hasn't led his team as far as number 2 has. The person number 2. So I have to give that guy credit. But number 2, the guy number 2, Mr. Burrow, has done it and performed for multiple years now. That's the difference. If Hurts can do this again, if he leads the Eagles to another Super Bowl and Josh Allen doesn't get far in the playoffs again, I will flip it. I will have Hurts at 3. That's perfectly fine. But Hurts has to show more than 1 year. Because who was it that just said earlier in the show, there have been many 1-year wonders. We have to wait. So, be fair. Be fair here. So, don't give me arguments that are inconsistent just because people want to root for Jalen Hurts and they love Jalen Hurts and we're all Eagles fans. There are people outside his fan base, legit media people, who will look at us ranking Hurts at 4 and laugh at us.
Yes.
But that's, to me, that's fine. And this is my argument. I don't think it's a travesty to put Hurts outside top 3. I can understand putting him at 3. I can understand putting him at 4. I can understand putting him at 5, 6, and 7. I get it. That range from 3 to 7, if you want to put him anywhere there, I get it. I don't think it's that bad. I think you can make an argument. But for Eagles fans to look at Hurts being ranked at 7 by not only Sims, but by other media people, Mina Kimes, Nate Tice, Robert Mays, who are all reputable people in media. Nate Tice was working as a scout on teams. So was Robert Mays. And they all have Hurts around that 7 range. So you're gonna say that we all know better than them? No. Okay. They're reputable people who also have him in that range. I think it's very fair to have him at 4. I think it's very fair to have him at 5, at 3, at 6, at 7. Stop acting like it's some crime just because you're an Eagles fan to not have Jalen Hurts at 3. It's not a crime.
Yeah, I agree.
Take off your glasses. You want to put him at 3, that's fine, but don't act like someone murdered Jalen Hurts because he's not.
You murdered my child.
Like, I've been holding this in for days, seeing
I can tell.
Everyone on
social
media getting so riled up and so mad because Chris Sims put him at 7.
So
he's not the only one. He's not the only one that's done it.
So
and it's fine. It's fine, guys. It's not that big of a deal.
It's going to be okay. Go ahead, PY.
So I actually have no issue with the other people putting him at 7. It doesn't affect me. Sims is a hater. Sims is a hate-ass son of a bitch.
But that's take that off. I'm just talking about putting him at 7. You just said it.
Here's the thing. If other people had put him at 7, I would have zero issue with it. Because I know there's no axe to grind.
He's the point. He's still at 7, though, PY. Regardless of who did it and whatever the motives were. Yeah. And trust me, you're one to be throwing the popcorn and title with your motives for 2 of the night. I don't want to hear that shit out of you tonight.
That's allegations. I'll be dodging those.
The 7 is what the 7 is. You feel what I'm saying? So it's bro, listen, even when Mr. Wing says that you go back and look at Allen playing that Miami playoff game, he played terrible. Listen, I can't stress this enough. For one, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, they're beating each other up in the better conference. Yeah. That's just the God's honest truth. And they've been doing it for longer than Jalen, right? But also Jalen's situation and what he found himself in last year. I think if Josh Allen was a quarterback of this team, you find yourself in the same fucking position. I think you find yourself in the NFC, hosting the NFC Championship game. That's not a knock on Jalen. It's just what Josh Allen has to do, and he has to do more with less versus the other 2 people in front of him. He had out of this list, outside of Lamar, and you go back and look at their teams last year, how much of the offense that they were responsible for. And this is one thing. I mean, I won't really with Sims after tonight, but before, one of the things that he made sense was that the Buffalo Bills asked Josh Allen to do too much. Yep. They asked him to do too much, and he still succeeds. And he played with it. He needs Tommy John. Didn't he have Tommy John surgery or some shit? Right, week 11 or week 10, sometime in November, he got hurt, and they thought he wasn't gonna be able to come back, and he wasn't 100% after that, and still got the team to the playoffs. But once again, Chuck says, listen, it's what we have been doing. If we did this list in 2016, 2017, 2018, after the Super Bowl, how high will Wentz be on? How high will Wentz be on the list over 1 year?
Top 5.
You see what I'm saying?
Wentz was number 3 on the NFL Top 100.
Yeah,
NFL Top 1. He was number 3. And look what happened.
That's what all I'm simply saying, and I know this is Jake and PY's here, and I know we got the chat. It's just Chuck's, it's just been built up, it's been pent up because it's listen, we'll take the homer shit out of it, take the character, the leadership out of it. Let's just look. What we're asking is, in the true context of this exercise, is you have your QB choice. Who are you taking first? Who you take, regardless of anything else, talent at the QB position. Who are you taking? This doesn't account for Nick Sirianni. This doesn't account for the offense you have around him. Just the player himself. Who are you taking if you go down 10 quarterbacks?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sit here and you tell me that people are going to take Jalen Hurts, regardless of the situation, regardless of the weapons, over Josh Allen, and you get 8 out of 10 people to do that, I'll bet you my house.
Yeah.
I'll bet you my house. Because at that point, you're just not being objective.
Yep.
Right.
You're not being objective in that situation.
Yep.
And once again, we do this list. If we do this list last year, Jalen's not even on this fucking list.
He's not sniffing.
No.
At all.
So why is it a travesty to put him in the top 7? Like, it's not a.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand. And again, that's like my issue with our fan base, to where if it's not like all pro Eagles or like the rankings, for example, like all these Eagles fans get on forums and groups and like, oh, this is the disgrace, blah 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 blah. Like,
woe is me. Look at us.
Yeah, right. Like I like, oh, they doubt us again. Hungry dogs run faster. We're underdogs again. Look at us. Look at us. We're underdogs. They're hating. No, it's just it's called being objective. And a lot of people, again, and this is my issue with our fan base, is like I shouldn't say a lot. I'd say like a good amount of our fan base doesn't go outside of the market.
Yep.
That's the issue. They don't look outside the market. They only look at, all right, let's look at our schedule. Okay, we got the Bills, blah, 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 blah. We're winning every game. We're winning every game. No debate. We're winning every game. But it's just, I don't know. It bothers me. I keep quiet about it because it's just that people are going to talk regardless, no matter what any of us say. But it's just to react to rankings to me is just ridiculous, especially that and like win-loss records, like prediction win-loss records when we haven't even entered training camp yet, or we haven't even had a preseason game yet, and everyone's like, oh, I could see us going like 15-2 or 16-1. I'm like, oh, okay, relax.
Yeah.
So right now, Jalen is the big fish in the small pond. Just looking at this list, there's not another NFC quarterback even in the top 5.
He's the only one.
And it's only one other NFC quarterback on one or two on everybody's list.
Yeah. I've got Geno and Matt Stafford.
I got Dak and Jalen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, bro, it's just
yeah. I know. Like Joe says, Hurts leadership and professionalism, motivation / work ethic needs to go into it, and that absolutely does. I think,
sure.
I think we would all agree.
Yeah.
And I think anyone else outside of Philly would agree. Even Hurts is probably the best leader in the NFL.
Yep.
The elite leadership. It's probably the best leadership I've seen in the past 20 years. Like it's on another level. It's
what 24-year-old acts like him?
Yeah, like
one that has grown from a very early age to be a star.
Yeah,
that's what I tell people all the time. Like we all loved Wentz when he was that guy the first few years, but like this is nothing. Like
this is different.
Yeah, like
and we all believe this is different because of the intangibles, because of how he is as as a person and as a leader. We don't see it happening to him. Joe says, yeah, Gabe Davis and Dalvin Cook's brother stunk it up for my back. He didn't do anything. Gabe Davis was a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
How dare you disrespect Dawson Knox?
And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, and I'm just going player versus player. I would honestly say right now, Josh Allen is closer to being number 2 than he is being number 3.
Yeah. I was like really I was battling with myself, like, where should I put Josh Allen, 2 or 3?
He has
you can make the argument.
Mahomes Invitational enough. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not that. It's just once again looking at the situation that they're in and what they're asked to do and how hard it is or how easy it is for them to perform at that. If you look at the AFC East versus the AFC North, if you look at what Joe Burrow has versus what Josh Allen has and what the situation Joe Burrow came into, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
you already one of the best college teams in the last 60 years. You went undefeated, and then you just fucking happen to luck up, tear your ACL. You come back the next year, and you got your right hand man Jamar Chase with you, and people scoffed at the T Higgins pick, and you already had Tyler Boyd, and as much as he's a knucklehead, you had Joe Mixon, and you got a decent defense. Now it's going to be challenging for them this year because that secondary is completely all different.
Yeah,
that secondary for Cincinnati is all different, but if you honestly just look at the play, like it's tough. This shit is like when you get to this point, you're literally splitting hairs for the top four, man.
Yeah,
you really are. Like because you can make a situation, you can make a case for all of them where it's just. But the one thing we all say is who's at number one is at number one, and he has a fucking stranglehold on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he probably will for the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh, I'm going to fill him in now. Then I think we
might as well.
So I mean, and like I said with Joe Burrow, like I put him ahead because we
Patriarch,
my man.
I love that Patriarch Mahomes. He's great, man.
Patriarch Mahomes. I'm just messing up now. But yeah, with Joe Burrow, like I think we've seen him. We've seen him multiple times come up big. And the thing that I love about Joe Burrow is even though the physical talent is not there like it is with Mahomes and Allen, it's this.
Yep.
The mind.
Very smart.
He makes sorry, I saw this comment. I started
Patrico Malcopa!
So with Joe Burrow, the reason why I love him, obviously he's an awesome leader as well. But like, yeah, he almost never makes a bad decision. He is so damn smart. So damn smart. Like, and that's what it is. When it comes to the playing the QB position, it's the mental game is as much a part of it, and that's what we all have to realize. And I think Josh Allen's getting there, but with Joe Burrow, the mental side, and even with Hurts is very smart. That's why the turnovers are down, and he knows Jalen Hurts. And this is another point that Chris Sims did make, to give him credit. Jalen Hurts makes such smart decisions when it comes to when to be aggressive and when not to. And Joe Burrow is also up there when it comes to decision making and processing. Like Joe Burrow from a mental aspect might be the most cerebral quarterback in the league at this point because of how he's able to know what to do with the football and when to do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, and Joe says gotta have Burrow too because he's the only one who beats Mahomes regularly. Like he comes up with plays. So I totally it's so close 2-3. It is close. So close. But I don't know if you guys also have something to add with Joe Burrow.
Joe cool, man.
It's almost like I know the first year people was like, this guy he's too good looking, he's too cool to be this good, and think he didn't. And it's just like because the one thing about Burrow is still kind of here, like how did this kid not win the job at Ohio State? And that's where you got to go. Like Mr. Wing talks about like the agendas and clicks. These coaches at these big programs also have agendas. They also have what they see fit, what their vision is, and sometimes that just doesn't work. You know what I mean? So, and then kudos to Burrow because it didn't work out one place, and then he took over, and ever since 2019 at LSU, the bitch has been on a skyrocket, right?
Yep.
So even with Mahomes, it's like who would have thought? Like I keep saying this, that draft 2018. Mahomes was not highly touted at all.
Nope.
I think there was how many quarterbacks went in front of him? 2 or 3, and Andy had to jump up to get him. Nobody saw this from Patrick Mahomes whatsoever.
Right.
But now at this point, you kind of I got my talent. I can do this a little bit.
An air raid quarterback, for God's sakes.
Right. Then you start believing in yourself, and then you realize, like, all right, cool. I got my confidence. I want to run with it. That's why I want to see out of Justin Herbert this year. That's what I want to see out of Trevor Lawrence. I want to see it out of Jalen too. I want you to believe that you are this good and take that next step like Mahomes has. I think Burrow has already kind of did that somewhat as well. Joe's spot on. You see what I'm saying? Spot on. He brings up his name. That dude, not that one, the other one. He went in front of Mahomes.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like it's just, bro. Like any one of these, and you find yourself in a situation, right? But the key thing is you got to build a roster around it too.
Yeah.
And everything in the world can go right for you, right? And you still may not take home the Lombardi Trophy. For the first 3 quarters of that game, on that shitty ass field, in the second Sunday in February, and even halfway through the fourth quarter, dog, we was about to start talking about how we get into the parade.
Yep.
We was about to start talking I'm gonna take off this day, I'm gonna take off that day, and then shit just happens, and it's a combination of things why we didn't win. I know Chris Sims tried to chicken shit his way out of it and put it on.
Well, he does.
Third, like it's just a 1 versus 1 matchup, and that's not even how the shit went. Because I truly think if we get the ball back, we fucking go down and we win.
Yeah, his reasoning into like.
But when Herbert did it, it was fine.
Was the Mr. Wing's comment? He's Sims' arguments for Hurts being at 7 fell flat. I think most of his arguments were fair until he got to the playoff performance. I'm like, what do you mean you blew up a 10-point lead? Like, what are you talking about? Like
he blew up.
When he gave up the fumble, the Chiefs tied it, but then Hurts went right back and gave him another touchdown lead.
Yep.
Right? And then, he had that lead. So I don't know what you're talking about. He gave up the lead. Like, it's the defense gave up the lead.
Yeah, I mean,
when the Eagles were down 8, Jalen Hurts
drove him down the field.
And tied it up. Like, that's where I'm like, okay. And that's the thing with Sims. And I think Pete, since you're you and I were the ones that consistently listen to his podcast. That's the thing that kind of annoys me with him sometimes is that the inconsistencies with his arguments.
Right.
He doesn't articulate everything the way he should be. When I know he's smarter than that. Right. But like he doesn't always articulate, and he's not always fair and consistent to his takes. And that's what gets me annoyed. So
I mean, single-handedly, I'll say this. It's been a while. It's been almost 4 months now. The Chiefs just had the better linebackers in that game. I think that's the reason why we
100%.
The linebackers, they played phenomenal.
But I don't know that. But speaking of Chris Sims, if we want to transition to No Huddle, this is our list.
This is our list. Yep.
Sims, this is my ode to you. I've been rocking with you since you was messing with Lefko back on Bleacher Report. You've been on with NBC.
So do I.
That's when it was good, man.
The podcast was great. But this is where I think Lefko would have checked it.
Yep.
Yes.
If you don't know what happened, Sims has come out, and Tua, who because he went through this struggle and strife, PY put him on his list at number 9. Donated $10,000 to Eric Carmona's family. He passed away in a fatal car crash. He was a serviceman in this country for 6 years.
Yep.
I think that's what pisses me off the most.
Yep.
But he was a troll.
Because if I was talking to Chris and face to face, I'm like,
I would slap him.
He sacrificed 6 years of his life for your public safety. I don't give a shit what he did. And you could tell even in the clip, he has time and he's thinking about what he's about to say, and he still doesn't have a filter. To me personally, I think NBC should suspend him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really think it's just suspending for an indefinite period of time, because regardless, you're making it. It's like, we're justified giving money to a negative guy.
Yep.
You're not giving it to him. He's not here anymore.
He's dead. Like
he's not breathing the same air.
He has a family.
Florio was going out of his way to try and
when Florio has to try to check you, you know it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he tried to
now.
Yeah. Florio, out of all people, has to try to stop him. That's really bad. It goes to show that. And I want to say this, because when it comes to trolls, okay, online trolls and everything like that, I think we all agree the formula is to ignore them. They're not real, and everything like that. But even someone like me, who's a nobody, right? I'm a nobody compared to guys on NBC Sports and everything like that. I don't have like a tenth of the amount of followers they do. So I'm a nobody. Okay. When I get a negative comment or negative something negative about me, like it's taken me years to know how to deal with it. It would bother, and even to this day, it still does bother me sometimes. Like it gets to me. So I understand how at some point, like it can hurt you. I think we're all human. And to have people talk a certain way about you, when you feel like it's not warranted, is totally understandable. And I think it's okay to be vulnerable for that. And that's why I'm speaking up, because I still struggle with it. And again, I'm a nobody. But I think we have to absolutely get Chris Sims in check, because you can tell, and this is not just the first time. And Pete, I know like there are a lot of times during his podcast where he'll go off when he's mad because of backlash against him. He did it against ESPN when about his comments.
He's very sensitive.
He's sensitive.
He's a nepo baby.
So he will. I understand getting aggravated and frustrated, but you've got to be more professional. If you are somebody and you have you have the what is it, the outlet, like you have that platform. You're in that limelight, you're held to a higher standard. Like you have that publicity, you have to conduct yourself in a much more professional manner. How many times have we said lately, like we're trying to strive for that here at A2D, right? We've talked about us. For us, we want to be as professional now as we possibly can. We want to conduct ourselves in a professional way. Like when you get to that level, that is absolutely mandatory to be in a professional manner. And if you feel something, if you're Sims and you have something bottled up and you have animosity towards that person, just don't say anything.
Just move on. You're an adult.
Especially like you take a victory lap after the person isn't here.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like maybe, just maybe, like if you're tired of people pushing back after the things you're saying, maybe it's not an other person thing. Maybe your stuff is just ridiculous and you're getting called out on it because you're being ridiculous. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, once is by accident, twice is a pattern. If it continuously happens, there's a reason it continuously happens. It doesn't continuously happen just because, it's a Tuesday and it's 9:45 in the morning. No, there's shit that's adding up, that you're being a ridiculous diva.
And like the fact that he knew he was a serviceman, he knew he was a vet. Like that's the one thing you don't talk about vets like that. Like, I don't care. Like the vet trumps being a troll for whatever he did, because that
troll on the internet. Like, why does that matter?
To fight for you.
To me, Pete, and not to cut you off, having a family trumps all of that.
Exactly.
I was just literally thinking to myself, if somebody goes to him, because he has kids, he has a daughter who's like 15 now, and I think he has a son who's trying to be a quarterback who plays sports. They go to school. Your dad said this. Your dad doesn't care.
Right.
Like you have to answer the question. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's like even his dad. I'm waiting for the apology to come out, because you can't just idly sit by and think that this is okay.
I guess in Chris Sims' world, it does.
Yeah.
We'll find out come Monday.
They should suspend him. They should 100% suspend him.
It's a news dump Friday, so
it has to be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's
because when did it happen today? Right? It happened this morning.
Yeah, no, it happened this afternoon.
This afternoon.
Yeah. Joe makes an interesting comment here. Said Sims had like a 5-year stretch where his pre-draft QB analysis was the most accurate of any other sports analyst out there. But like the last 3 years or so, he's been super anti-Philly, and I feel like it's just for clout to stay relevant. I think Pete and I talk about that too. Like he knows his quarterbacks, but I don't know what's become of him lately. Ever since he went to,
It's an ego thing.
I think he's
Like-
feeling himself a bit, man.
he's
So-
feeling-
Yeah.
These are some of the quarterbacks in the last few years that he's ranked above Jalen Hurts. Tannehill, Jimmy G, Derek Carr, Matt Ryan, Mayfield, Cousins, Wentz,
Whoa.
Jones, Mariota.
Py, I'll stop you there. You don't have to go through it because again, I think all of us ranked Hurts pretty low last year. Okay.
Mhm.
I get that, but
So-
like
so
the Matt Ryan thing was ridiculous. The Daniel Jones over him was ridiculous.
I think it's again,
Kellen Mond.
I think
That's outlandish. But
Daniel Jones. I think we agreed that Daniel Jones and Kellen Mond. Yeah, him being high on Kellen Mond was out of left field. But
see, 5 years ago he would take that type of shot. It was hitting.
yep.
Now
Right.
it's just like he's throwing shit. And then listen. I've always not liked this part about him. He chooses to rock LeBrons over Jordans. I can't.
All right, that's just silly.
I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't.
He's-
He can't be comfortable in your own skin when you do some shit like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I said this in the chat, and I'll say it again. He is the typical guy to where, you know what? You didn't make it in the NFL. So you do the podcast thing, you do the network thing, you try to paint yourself differently than what the NFL saw you. And what the NFL saw you is an idiot kid who's only famous because of A, who your dad is, or B, because John Gruden ripped your ass in half on Hard Knocks.
But
And he-
to be fair though, I personally don't think his playing career has anything to do with this. Like,
Yeah, I don't even think the fact that he has a platform, anything. What I'm upset about has nothing to do with his rankings. This is just human decency.
yeah,
it's
You-
disgusting.
you- like
Yeah.
it literally felt like to me you took a victory lap on someone's passing and
Yeah.
tried to justify it by saying they had bad things to say about you on Twitter. Regardless if they came, if
exactly.
it never was a fact they came at your family, this, that, and the third, that they crossed the line, regardless. How would you want your kids to feel if they did that? Like, it gave me insight to him as a person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I didn't like what I said to the point where I don't know. Like I don't know what's going to happen. He can't dodge it. You know what I mean? Because I
No.
think it's going to get blown up even more.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
all
it's
over.
everywhere.
Yeah,
It's everywhere.
They're
Yeah.
going to deep dive in his tweets. I'm calling it right now. They're going to deep dive into all his past.
Bro, like I mean, he I mean, don't get me wrong. I partake in the marijuana every now and then. He does too. He talks about all this shit, right? And sometimes he's a different vibe. But when that stick ain't working no more, and you don't have the proof in the pudding, that's all well and good. But even then, you can sit here and hate on Philly all you want. You can hate on Hurts. You can do all that. My God, like, bro, this dude gave 6 years of his life to serve the public.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Now, and I think Mr. Carmona passed away in a fatal car crash.
Yep.
But you,
right? Motorcycle accident, something like that.
Yeah.
so
Something
it's
like that,
I don't know what was said. I just can't believe that was a time and place to take it
where he felt. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that is a very good point, Joe. And then, like I said, when Mike is like, whoa, and this still keep going.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know either. Like it's
Just he's a clown. He's always been a clown, and I'm happy people are finally coming around to seeing what type of dude this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was cute. Like here's the thing: like when you act ridiculous in any manner, like it's gonna come out. Like when you're a jackass, you're a jackass. Like it's like people are gonna see you for what you are, and people are seeing that Chris Sims is not a good dude. Like I just don't understand how with a straight face you can make that comment. Like whatever you think about the military is whatever, but like this dude served this country. Like I just even if he never served a day in his life, he died. This is someone who lost their life. This woman, his wife doesn't have her husband anymore. These kids don't have their father anymore. Like what is this like clamoring on him because he was an internet troll. Who cares? He was still a person.
Yeah. Yep.
Just ridiculous.
Joe says, I never say nothing bad about you, Chunks. PY, on the other hand.
Please, my father would say bad things about me. Get out of here.
So that's
There's nothing special.
That's the Chris Sims thing. What else you guys got for got this week?
I want to go see Flash. When are we going? Let's go.
I'm going next week.
It's a Thursday. We're all going, right?
Is there a show next week?
I have I have my tickets for 3:00 because that's
He's going 3:00. Yeah,
I'm going 3:00. That's the first showing at AMC Deptford.
Oh my God, I'm off on Thursday. Yes, I just realized that. Yes. No, I'm not. Damn it.
He was happy. He was sad. Marshall asks, "Who's a bigger crumb, Chris Sims? What did Zion do?"
Yeah, I don't understand.
He was fooling around with different chicks, and he got one pregnant, and the other girl found out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, because he made an announcement that him and his girl that he's with now, they're having a baby. But
And
apparently, I think the girl was like
about it.
The side chick who's apparently like a porn star or something, allegedly, also was calling him out because he got like some other girl pregnant or something. I don't
know. So she's been dragging him for like 2 days.
Porn stars.
Huh?
Jimmy G dates porn stars. They're like no one.
Yeah.
He's not putting the babies in them.
It's true. So he's been getting dragged by this chick for 2 days, and like she's just talking to a wall.
Work.
He's getting his Nick Cannon on.
God damn it.
Work. Are you guys friends in real life or you never met them? No, we're friends in real life. Yeah.
Yes, we're all friends. We all need to have a thing where we just go out.
It's just tough because Jake does live in PA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little tough to get.
I mean, I can always drive over, but we're always.
I've hit everyone up in different times. You know.
Yeah, we do have to do that. That dinner at that Japanese buffet. I told you guys.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That would be.
I tried to do something when me and Jake were doing the Fan Friday thing. I tried to set something up. It just never ended up happening.
Yeah. We'll think of something soon. It's almost summer, and I want to check that buffet out. So I think that'll be a good 2 hours wasted of our lives.
I say we go to a Phillies game. That could be really fun.
Yeah, Chuck isn't a baseball fan though.
It doesn't matter. I know I go with tons of people who are fans. It's just a fun guy. It's just a fun 2 hours.
Oh, it's a fun place to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe says he went and saw Spider-Man yesterday. The preview for The Flash looks so good. Can't wait to see Michael Keaton playing Thomas Wayne of Batman again. Yeah, there's no way.
Thomas Wayne.
There's no way I was missing this movie.
Yep.
The Flash. I've missed Guardians. I've missed Little Mermaid. I've missed Mario.
All of them.
I'm gonna miss Transformers. I'm gonna miss Spider-Man in theaters. I'm gonna miss all those movies in theaters. There's no way I'm missing this. Michael Keaton as Batman again. I am not missing this. No way I'm missing this.
I'm Batman.
No way. So I'm gonna be there 3:00 at AMC Deptford to watch it. Yep. Jacob says, "What are your Sixers off-season predictions?" Don't know.
Depression, Suicide Watch. Getting the Chris Paul jersey.
Chris Paul.
Yeah. Process is over.
When the news came out that Chris Paul was waived, I was
like, "Oh, you're a Sixer."
I was like, "Oh boy, oh man. Here we go."
That's like it just adds to like the all-time Sixers team that I just put together. That's all bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that, Mr. Wing. It would. I mean, there's parts of it. I don't want to give too
feels
much
like an odd comment.
I think, to me personally, I think it was the best Spider-Man movie ever made, in my opinion. That's my early.
I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it over Spider-Man 2. It's just.
I mean, it was definitely better, and this is saying something. I think this one is definitely better than Into the Spider-Verse.
I can see that.
I can see that.
And then so I can give it more, but you guys, I don't want to spoil it.
I almost saw it today, and then things just didn't end up going that way.
Here's the thing, when it's a trilogy, a lot of times the first movie isn't as good as
Yes.
like,
Star Wars.
Yeah.
and like what else? I had another. The
Most
Captain
of
America
fucking
trilogy. The first Captain America was fine, but like it wasn't as.
Yeah, it was
I
okay. It
love
wasn't
First
great.
Avenger.
Oh, you meant crazy
Not
good.
it. Wow.
Yeah, not crazy.
But it gets hood at some point.
Speaking of like, it's a little bit of a tangent, but not really. It has to do with Spider-Man. You know what? I kind of realized that I was watching. What is it? No Way Home, right?
Okay.
I was rewatching it, and so initially after I watched the whole movie, I was like, "Oh, this is like a top 3, top 5 MCU movie." After rewatching it, I don't think it is, but I think the third act is absolutely one of the best acts. Once it hits, I think the point where the twist comes in and Hobgoblin
Green Goblin.
Sorry. Green Goblin is you find out he's like legit bad. From that point on, that's when I think the movie is amazing. Everything before that, I think it's like actually.
When they let William Dafoe be William Dafoe.
William Dafoe, yes.
Like William Dafoe walks down the street and you think he's a legit villain.
Yes, that's literally him in any movie he's ever in.
What movies has he been in where he wasn't a villain?
Oh shit!
None.
Wasn't he
None.
in?
He's a bad guy in Platoon as well.
Right, and he wasn't he
He's
a
like-
bad guy in a movie opposite Harrison Ford too? I can't think of.
He was
the one with the two brothers, the Irish
Boondock
brothers.
Saints.
Boondock
Boondock
Saints. Yeah, Boondock Saints.
He was the crazy detective.
He was the
Yes.
detective. Yeah.
He
Great
is
movie.
notorious for other things as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Joe says it's Boondock Saints. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he
great
was,
movie.
I've met them. They're awesome.
Joe asked us a question about Dalvin Cook. I think,
No.
and that, no, to rank the most likely landing spots for him. I think he doesn't get out of Miami.
I don't think so
Yeah.
either. I think he's going there.
Miami. I want to
Miami.
see him on the Bills though. I want to see him on the Bills.
My buddy Igor texted me. He's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" So, Dalvin Cook, where's he going? I'm like, he's probably going to Miami or Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him. I think most likely
Cincy would be interesting.
Miami, but then I think if I'm done, most likely Miami, Buffalo, Cincy, Dallas.
So they asked this on the radio today, and I know I know my answer. I'm just curious to what yours is. It's like, so let's say he got cut before the draft. Would you have rather signed Dalvin Cook or signed or trade it for DeAndre Swift?
Dalvin Cook.
Swift. Ooh,
For Dalvin Cook.
a little divided.
So,
I've been on. I just since Florida State.
No, I know.
Yeah, I know Pete's been a big Dalvin Cook guy. So
I'll say Swift just because I think he's what they were missing last year. Like, because you have your elusive like guy who's speedy and Rashad Penny, but like having Swift in that backfield just makes everything more different because
it's just
More different. That's the English we're using this late in the show.
More different.
it is 11:30. Leave me alone. Yeah, he's just a difference maker backfield because you don't know if Jalen's going to run it, you don't know he's throwing it, you don't know if Swift is carrying it, or you don't know he's going to catch in the backfield.
I think with Cook, the reason why I'd rather have Swift because I think if Swift balls out, he's someone you can sign and extend for cheap.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it's a couple years younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Cook is 27 or 28, and I think Swift is like 24, 25.
Well, but also Cook is like 31 in running back years.
And he has
there's a lot less.
more tread on the tires. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
way
but
less
for
tread on the
for
tires.
these next 2 years before I can trade him in our dynasty league, this whole shit.
Yep.
He was sitting there for a while.
I know. I'm glad you got him because you're James Cook, Dalvin Cook guy. No, but like I see the argument though for 1 year. If you have him for 1 year, I can see the argument for him.
But long term.
Yeah, long term. I'm always
I think
thinking
he's here
long-term.
2 years.
Who, Swift?
Yeah, I think they re-sign him.
For like a 1
I think
year.
I think they re-sign him for 2 years, but I don't think he makes it to the final year.
I can
Well, I
see
know there
that.
was a rumor going around that they were interested in extending him, but
Yeah, I saw
see.
that report.
Well, yeah, that's what I
He
mean. Like,
said-
he plays this year, they extend him. He plays next year, and then that third year, they probably trade him or release him.
or something like that, or cut him.
So
Yeah.
Florida Panthers won Game 3.
They're
Oh,
gonna-
did
they?
oh,
Extended
serious,
the
the
playoff.
series. I was about to turn
Good.
that
I don't
on
know about
but I thought it
that.
was in overtime, but yeah.
I don't know if it's a series, but
So,
Hey, if it's 2-1, it's 2-1. It's a series. If they went down 3-0, it's over.
I just
Oh, yeah, it's
2-1.
over.
fucking Vegas, man. Been in the
are,
league
are the Knights the greatest expansion team in the history of sports?
probably.
I mean,
Because they're in they
they've only
like
been around 5 years.
2 years, yeah.
so in 5 years they have
5
two
years?
Stanley Cup. They've appeared in two Stanley
They
Cups.
went to 2 Stanley Cups. Yeah.
Yeah. One,
Five
And they'll
years.
probably win their first.
Yep. I
Well, it just
I
That is-
just
that
can't
is
help
really
but root
good
for them. Like they're
expansion
just
draft.
so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is really good expansion drafting by them.
when Jack
luckily,
Eichel just falls to you,
speaking, so using that as a transition to our last point before we head out of here. Flyers traded Provy,
I don't give a shit.
and it looks like they're going to. The rumor is they're going to trade Carter Hart.
Trade Carter Hart. Yeah.
Let me just say this, okay? Because we've been talking about it a lot. I know the guys at the Hockey Happy Hour talked about it ad nauseum.
We have a hockey show.
Yes. God, Jesus Christ.
I'm just fucking-
So I understand the reasoning behind trading Carter Hart because they're rebuilding,
we just-
and you get what you can for your assets and just rebuild with the younger guys. Fine, okay, sure. I still don't like it. I still
Yeah,
don't
fair.
agree with it. I still not something I would do because if you're rebuilding and you can be good a contender in 3 years, 4
Yep.
years, Carter Hart's still only going to be 27,
yeah.
28.
Yeah.
He's still
Yeah.
going to be young. He's entering his prime right now. And when is the last damn time you had a franchise goalie that you could have extended for a long period of time? It's been
like
since Ron Hextall in 1997.
Yep.
Like that's
So-
really bad. So I'm someone that not a lot of people know this, but hockey is my second sport. Like the Flyers are my second
not know that.
Philly team.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't talk about them a lot recently
'Cause
because
they make you
they
sad.
suck. Because
Yeah,
they
they
suck.
stink.
But if they trade Carter Hart, I told you guys in the chat, I am convinced that they will never have a franchise goalie because they will or something will always get in the way.
Basically.
It's just something, and I don't care how good you view Carter Hart. I am convinced also if we trade him, he's going to be the next Bobrovsky. He's going to win the
Martin,
Vezina.
100%.
Martin
He's
Brodeur.
going to lead the next team to the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm so convinced of it because that's just
So-
our luck. That's just our luck for it to happen. So
Yep.
I was a huge hockey fan at one point. I was like a huge Flyers fan. Like I used to con teachers into like giving me newspapers so I can just read what was going on.
yeah.
Like that's how big of a hockey guy I was. And at some point I was just like, I can't deal with this crap no more.
I think that's the frustrating part for the Flyers is that they do it to themselves. Like you see them
Yeah.
have pieces, and if they had better leadership,
Yep.
they
Stop
could be there.
hiring old players.
They just
Retreads.
yeah,
and
they
then,
just keep that up. I don't know.
Comcast, yeah, they need new ownership, but
The
Comcast-
Flyers have sucked so long. Russia used to be USSR. That's how long it's been.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does. So
When you're bragging rights,
Flyers. Yeah, that's the Flyers.
Yeah.
But at least they have gritty, right? So
I was just gonna say they have gritty.
they have gritty. He
was
All right,
a
gentlemen.
guy.
Good job
All
tonight.
right,
This
boys.
was fun. We have our QB rankings. They will be up on A2D socials next 2 days, either tomorrow or Saturday, whenever I can get them done on the graphic. Send it over to Jake. Great conversation. Next week we will go back to our top positions of since 2000. We're
Top positions of baby making. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. We'll do top wide receivers since 2000.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's
Why aren't we doing top 10 fullbacks?
That's gonna be
Because-
hard.
Name 10 fullbacks.
John Ritchie.
I knew that was going to be your first one. I knew
All right,
that
one
was-
more.
Heath Miller.
Leonard Weaver. Remember
Kyle
Leonard Weaver?
Juszczyk.
Oh, God. But yeah, thank you to our sponsors, Baggio's Bread especially. Remember to mention A2D to get 10% off. And to all of our other shows here at the station, we've got so many great shows now. Make sure you tune in almost every day. We've got something for you. Till next week, guys. For us at Birds of a Feather, myself, Mr. OG Pete, Mr. Jake Friel, and Mr. PY. We appreciate your support.
PY, he's our guy.
We
Yes.
appreciate your support. We love you. God bless. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.